Right, hello everyone, my name is DKWBlaze91 and today, as you can see, I've got a couple of my games out here. Mainly because I'm here to show you guys the games I bought through December, not counting the games I bought for Christmas, because I already did a video about the games I had for Christmas in my Christmas video and the New Year's resolution video, so check those videos out if you haven't already. What I'm going to go through though are the games I bought throughout December, because I did buy plenty of games and I didn't necessarily give myself a chance to make a video about it because of all the stuff I've been busy with, so I apologize for that. So I'm going to go through all the games I've got all through December, talk briefly about each game, and then give my thoughts about them. Alright, so here we go. We're going to start off with this one. No, not this one. There it is. Saints Row 4 on the PS3. This is the fourth game in the Saints Row series. I have got the third game, now I've got the fourth game. I don't know if this one has I don't know if there's like a Game of the Year edition which has all the DLC content on it, but whatever the case. This is the similar to the Grand Theft Auto games where you cause all sorts of mayhem and destruction, so forth, and it's mightily hilarious fun. I've only played this for like just the first chapter of it to see it working and to register my first trophy. Very good. I like it. Next up, The Last of Us Game of the Year edition. This one came with the DLC code for that's it. Left Behind, the prequel chapter, the Abandoned Territories and Reclaimed Territories multiplayer packs, and the Grounded mode difficulty setting. And yeah, PlayStation 3's single best game, and it certainly is. I hear a lot of incredible stuff about The Last of Us. It's all about survival and not just taking on every single encounter. Face to face. And when you do get into an encounter, it's intense. And when you're forced into an encounter, it's intense stuff. I got this with all the codes intact, and I quite like it. I played this for quite a bit, and I am quite into it. I am going to get this for the PS4 as well, because that is the PS4 remastered one. Will have all the DLC content with it, so I can't wait to do that. Next, Warhammer 40k Space Marine. I'm not 100% into the Warhammer universe. Well, I used to have Fire Warrior on the PS2 back then. That game was really good. I enjoyed that. This one is actually pretty good. It's a standard third-person action game where you can use melee weapon or a gun to take down like all the various aliens or whatever the creatures they're called. I have no idea I have forgotten what they are. I'm not 100% into the 40k universe, and so I wouldn't know anything about it. I've only played just the first level just to see game in action, to see it working, and to register my trophies. So good stuff. Next, White Knight Chronicles, a Japanese role-playing game. I haven't dived into its story, although I've only played just the first hour of it against the first boss. It was like really easy. And I have heard the online multiplayer is off, and I did look at the achievements. I think there are no trophies for this game that require you to play online, so I can just go through the game on my own with just the AI control party members. Combat system's alright. I mean, it's got some nice varied spells and attacks and so forth, but the problem is with the battle system, even you could be like a few inches away from an enemy and an enemy will do what should be like just a short range attack, but it will still hit you no matter how far you are away from them. It's very off-putting, but otherwise not bad. Right, next up, Wolfenstein The New Order. I wanted to get this game, and I want to get this for the PS4 because they have separate trophy lists, so that would be good for me. This is the real. This is when like Wolfenstein is now getting is now moving on with in the series. You got the 2009 reboot, which was good and all, but it wasn't until this one where like id Software and Bethesda are really starting to get back on with this Wolfenstein saga. The only Wolfenstein game I've beaten was Wolfenstein 3D on the Super NES, and I played it on the Super NES emulator with a keyboard and mouse. And that version was alright, despite all the censorship and all that. And I was hoping I would like to do Wolfenstein 3D on the PlayStation 3, but for some reason it's gone. It's not available on the PlayStation Network store, Wolfenstein 3D. I don't know why. Why id Software have not bothered to put it back on PSN store now. I really would have liked it if they kept it on there, but alas, whatever. I've only played New Order for like a few minutes just to see it working and register one of the trophies. Because that's how I play my games. I just play for a few minutes till the one trophy pops up and I stop playing afterwards. Next up, Bioshock Rap Truck Edition. This one contains Bioshock 1, Bioshock 2, and all the DLC content for the two games. I sold the regular Bioshock 1 and 2 games, and because I wanted the DLC content for this without me having to go on PSN on the PlayStation Network store to purchase them separately. Considering that the DLC content these days now can actually cost more than the actual damn game itself when you purchase it secondhand. So it's always good to get like these Game of the Year editions, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm always replacing any of the games I got for the Game of the Year editions if I can find them. I'm using CEX website to help me locate them if necessary. So either way, I got the Game of the Year edition of Bioshock 1 and 2. They're both awesome games, and I tested them out. I did buy this back in the Raptor edition back in November, and I had a problem with the disc, so I had to take it back. And eventually I found it, and I found a clean copy in Barry, so that's good. Next up, Alone in the Dark Inferno. Apologies for my throat there. This is the 2008 update. The 2008 reboot of the survival horror series that made the survival horror series that we see in the Resident Evil games. And what can I say? The 2008 reboot of the Alone in the Dark wasn't really all that good. Fiddly controls, awful story, and poor character development, and the melee system matched to the right analog stick. It was just a very terrible design on the developers' front. Whereas this version here, Alone of the Dark Inferno, hopes to like address some of the problems, like the controls that some of the players did not like, and a more easier inventory management system. Yeah, I think that's what it says. The Ultimate Edition containing a new... Yeah, the Ultimate Edition... Yeah, the Ultimate Edition featuring a new camera and a control system. Let's give you more thrills. Which is something. I've only played like the first few chapters. Because I did buy... was it? This game back in November, I think. And the disc had problems. And so I had to take it. So I had to get rid of it and purchase a new one. And thankfully I got a new copy and I tested it and it works just fine. And I have got the trophy, and I have got the trophies all set up and ready. Right, next up, Mercenaries 2: World in Flames. This was one of the games I swapped Bioshock Rap Truck Edition for when I picked it up in Cash Generator in Albany Road. Yeah, that's it. And I eventually took Bioshock Rap Truck Edition back, and I got it for this. And this one works fine. It works just fine, although it has this sort of and it has a serious bug in the game. EA. This company here shut down the servers for this game, making it impossible to play online. But even though the servers are shut down, the game will actually say connecting to servers, and when it tries to connect to the servers, the game will immediately crash. There's only one way around it, which I know of. You have to turn off the internet modem on your PS3 in order to bypass it. Which means it's going to be impossible to do the online multiplayer trophies. But that's okay. As long as there's trophies to be unlocked in this game, I am actually okay with it. Other than that, I did play the first level and got just the first few achievements just to see the game working and whatnot. And lastly, Okanoha 3, a fighting game. And you never figured you would see me pick up fighting games now, because I'm actually want to take some interest in playing some fighting games, because this year there's a fighting game I'm interested in picking up called BlazBlue Cross-Type Battle. And what's my reason to pick up Cross-Type Battle? Well, if it's going to feature a playable character from an anime series I watch. Can you guess which that character it is? Ruby. That's right. Ruby characters are going to be playable in Cross-Type Battle. That alone caught me off guard, because I've been wanting to try and watch the Ruby anime series, and I'm going to start watching it eventually, fully. But I'm only watching it piece by piece. And I'm starting to pick up like some of the fighting games from Arc System Works, as well as some of the other fighting games from other companies, just to really get myself into fighting games again before I pick up Cross-Type Battle for myself and start going crazy with Ruby. But either way, Okanoha 3 is actually not a bad fighting game. For what it is, it's pretty decent. You got all sorts of different girls with all sorts of different abilities. I've played through the game and played it as this one here. I can't see it very well. Let's see if we can find. Yeah, this blonde girl here who has like the stuffed animal with her. And I beat like her storyline and played through Score Attack with her. And I think there was another character I actually played through. I'm just gonna look through it on my eyes, see which one it is. Ah, yeah, this one. This little maze girl with a sword. That's it. Fiona the girl with the sword, and Angelia the girl with this girl who floats with a stuffed animal with a. It's a decent game, not one of the better fighting games in the category. It's pretty weird and insane. It has all sorts of crazily strange characters in it. But of course, the highlight of this game is fighting one of the hardest bosses in fighting game history. And if you haven't fought her yet, my goodness. Words cannot explain just how annoying the final boss is in this game. And it is Paris, or is it Paris last year. I can't pronounce her name very well. She has all sorts of crazy attacks that if you press a button, she'll instantly counter all your attacks with all sorts of specials that she has up her sleeve. She is constantly wrecking you that you haven't got a chance of getting out of them. There is only one savior. It makes her all. It just makes her just simply all the cheapness that she throws at you just makes her insanely overpowered compared to like Shang Tsung and Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat, or Bison and Akuma from Street Fighter. But Paris instantly owns any of the fighting game final bosses in a Dutch mile. But in this version of the game, there's one handicap to her which can make it possible for you to beat her. Every time you continue, her health drops. Her maximum health drops by a certain number of pixels, which does make it easier to take her down, but even then she constantly just wrecks you. The only way to actually beat her is to really play the hell out of this game and just come up with some sort of combo and get off your supers as quickly as you possibly can if you hope to stand a chance against her. It is just insane. But I've somehow managed to beat her on the easiest difficulty with just the two characters, which were, again, Angelia, this one, and Fiona, this one, I believe. But even then, it still proves how overpowered she is. I did do a little bit of multiplayer with somebody. I didn't like the experience group, with the boosting group, and I do want to get like the multiplayer trophies for this. And I'm using like this time to like try and come up with like combos with each of the characters, so I can learn how to play it more efficiently. So either way, that's all the PS3 games I got all through December. I do want to get the Love Max edition for Kenoha 3, both for the PS3 and the Vita, because they'll have separate trophy lists, so that'll be quite good for me. And I think Okanaha Love Max, Kenoha 3 Love Max, is on the Vita, is compatible with the PlayStation TV. I'm not 100% sure. Alright. Now we're on to one last little device that I picked up. This is a brand new game console I picked up while I was in Barrie. It's the Revo K101. This is a sort of Game Boy Advance clone console, which plays real Game Boy Advance games, but also has a flash card, which has a little miniature micro SD that you can stick into that little device that you can stick in, and it will play Game Boy Advance ROMs as well as Game Boy and Game Boy Color ROMs. You're probably wondering, oh, could this play Game Boy and Game Boy Color cartridges too? No, it can't. Just only the cartridges of the Game Boy Advance. So in a way, it's like having its own bigger variant of the Game Boy Micro. It's a very neat clone console. I've been having a little bit of some goes with it. I've got the leads with it, which allows me to connect it to a TV. So I'm like, oh, I can play Game Boy Advance games on my television. That's a novelty. This bugger costed me 45 quid. But then again, I wanted it for the SD card it came with, so I can do all sorts of ROM hacks and fan translation games on the GBA, which have been being worked on. And I'll just go ahead and briefly just put in a Game Boy Advance cartridge. Just take anyone out that's out in random. You know what? I'll just put Tales of Fantasia on. I don't care. Right, here it is. Here's the game. I'm putting it in. And turning on the power. So you can't see it very well, it's too bright. It's a guy on low light. There you go, you can see the game working on this device. Very fantastic it is. I've been playing it for the past. I've been playing playing my games on this device for quite the past few days, and a lot of the games actually do work fine on it. Sound emulation isn't perfect though, but seeing all the games run on this device, it works phenomenally well. And I like that you can resize the screen as well. Which is nice. Change the brightness as well. I'm not going to do that on here. And I do like all the buttons on there. They feel very nice. Feels very responsive on hand. I'm not going to press any buttons because it'll skip the intro here. I did try a few Game Boy Color games on here, and the emulation on them are not perfect either. Some of the games are supposed to work fine, but then I put Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and Chamber of Secrets in, and the games are just massively glitchy, and they just don't work properly. I don't know why. Maybe it's either the bad ROM dump or just the game's just not compatible. It's insane. But either way, yeah, I'm glad to have this device for all my Game Boy Advance stuff. And again, the ability to play on my fucking TV is just incredible. If I just don't feel like playing it on just a handheld itself. Why not? yeah. But still, it's a fantastic little machine if you still have the Game Boy Advance. I do like the Game Boy Advance. Loads of fantastic games come out for this device, for this thing. Castlevanias, the Mario. You got the Castlevanias, the Marios, the Metroid games are fantastic. Donkey Kong. Final Fantasy VI looks awesome. I can't wait to do that one. But I'll wait until the time is right for me to play that one. And I got the X versus Sever games, Dark Arena, the Mario Advance, the Sonic Advance 2, some of the NES classics I still hold on to, Bomberman Tournament, the Final Fight 1 GBA port. Yeah, this is incredible, and I'm still hoping to expand upon my GBA library, because why not? I wouldn't mind expanding on the GBA library, because I still play this one quite a fair bit. Golden Sun is another fantastic GBA game series I like to play. I haven't got the Golden Sun GBA games, but would like to get them in real GBA cartridge form. Either way, let's turn this off. And then so years later, I press the power button to turn the game off. So this is it, guys. I got myself a couple of new games and a new console. Some good amount of deals I got there. So pretty good stuff there. It is going to take me a while to go through all these, especially with all the multiplayer boosting groups I'm forced to put myself through, and all these other top 10 lists I'm working on right now. I have done the top 10 worst games of 2017 list, so tomorrow I will get to work on the top 10 most disappointing games of 2017, give my thoughts on them, and eventually the best games of 2017, and then I'll do a list on the top 10 games that I'm looking forward to in 2018, and eventually start working on the game review, and I'll go back and then be working on game reviews again. But I'm having all these multiplayer games there just to have a break from the working monotony. And I got all these games I keep buying. I have to play them and test them and register their trophies, if I can play them, that is. So there's a lot going on. So there's still a lot going on with here. So I'm working through it slowly, and I hope I can keep up to my usual tasks, and my recent ongoings last year. But either way, guys, this is what I'm going to call a video here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to give me comments, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Take care of yourselves, and goodbye.